Morgan, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to do a little intro video. This is just that. It's pretty casual. We just want to spend a little bit of time talking about what brought you to Kansas City, what brought you to being a therapist, and what brought you to Heartland Therapy Connection. So maybe start with what made you want to be a therapist in the first place?
Yeah. I am kind of weird in that sense of I've always wanted to be a therapist, always kind of in the psychology realm ever since I was in like second grade.
Oh gosh,
I
okay.
was watching Criminal Minds that young even, which I probably shouldn't have, but exactly. It really piqued my interest to just see how people think, how people behave, how all of that interacts. And ever since I saw that, I just kind of never really found myself interested in learning anything else or going into anything else.
Great. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about second graders and Criminal Minds, but I'm glad it brought you here. So there's that. So that's obviously been a minute that you were kind of thinking about being a therapist. When you start working with clients now, or maybe before you get into that very first beginning session, who are the people that you most enjoy working with, that you really feel the kind of energy and get you fired up about it?
Yeah, for me, I've noticed a lot of what I've personally worked through and what I've done with myself are the clients that I get really excited to help and like be there to support with. So in that realm, it would be like female clients, anyone dealing with kind of boundaries, people pleasing, anxiety, self-esteem issues. Those are my real like kind of bread and butter, if you want to put it that way, of like getting so excited of like, let's dive into this and get you living as your best life and not kind of living on the means of other people.
Oh yeah, I love that. And I think that brings such like real tangible benefit to people's lives. You know, if you're able to set boundaries and able to have healthy boundaries, then you can really build your life how you want, which obviously is happier than trying to just, appeal to what everybody else is saying or asking of you.
Yeah.
So when you get these clients, walk us through like what is it like to be a client in your office?
Yeah, I really love calling myself the chill therapist. I don't want you to come in feeling like you have to be all put together, you have to sit or like lay on the couch perfectly. Like bring snacks, bring drinks, bring comfy clothes, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel comfortable in here. I'm all for it, because that's
Yeah.
when the most like work is going to be done, is when you're feeling comfortable and like yourself.
Right. Yeah, I think that is, I think that's a good point. You know, sometimes when you see therapists portrayed on TV, it is very like, let me sit there with my clipboard and I'm going to be very formal. And I'm sure there's a place for that. But I like what you're saying about being approachable, and I want you to be comfortable. And I think one of the biggest pieces of that too is like safety, emotional safety, physical safety, but emotional safety of like, this is a safe place to be at ease, relaxed, chill, and that you've got it, right? Like you're going to help people. How do you kind of explain how you help people or what you help them with when somebody's kind of like, I think I need therapy. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of not happy. I don't really know I don't really know what's wrong though.
There's two different ways I kind of like go with that. I either have this like wheel of life of just like, okay, these are just different areas in your life. Any concerns here? Anything with this aspect that you're like, I kind of want to work on this, and just start to build goals that way. Or just very blanket of like, okay, what kind of bugged you today? Where can we start for today? And then see how that goes into the past or how that's going to play a role in the future, and then kind of work from there.
Okay, cool. So I like that past and future. It's not just about today, but maybe, the past piece of like themes or how has this been a problem before? Because I think that's one of the things we see. That's often what brings people to therapy, right? Is like, I'm in the same kind of relationship again. Here I am again, having the same thing happen. And that feels bad for most of us. So yeah, I like that, helping people see what those patterns might be.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
See
can
what
learn
those
to be
patterns
confident.
were and how they played a role in it, how the other person played a role in it, and how can we
Mhm.
kind of prevent that pattern from keep happening.
Right. Yeah. So that's what you do as a therapist, and we love it. And we're so excited to have you in Kansas City because you've only been here for like right about a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you most enjoying about our fine city?
Ooh, it sounds cliche, but I love just the new environment. Since I am originally from St. Louis, kind of knew all the areas, knew where to go, all of that different stuff.
Uh-huh.
And just being in a new city, you guys have so many more different like areas and neighborhoods with just like all different activities, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. So I love just exploring all the different areas that are around here.
Yeah, that's cool. And have you found like a restaurant or a coffee shop or kind of your place, your favorite place?
Oh yeah. There it's kind of pricey, but it's Lydia's downtown.
Oh yeah.
It is the best. My go-to like guilt food is always pasta. It's the
Got
best
it.
handmade pasta ever.
Uh-huh. I feel like that's kind of saying something coming from St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis has some Italian restaurants to not mess around with.
Oh yeah, we have the Hill. That's the whole Italian neighborhood and
Right.
everything. Which, granted, there's great restaurants up there too, but this one I was surprised to find as good here.
Okay, great. Um, what if you could share one like client win, obviously not with any information about anybody, but one of those moments where you're like, they really got it and it was a really great session. What's a
Mm,
win?
yeah, there was a session where we were talking about kind of people pleasing and like maybe kind of how to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those instances where it was kind of phrased to me on how they would say, how they would ask for help at work. And it was not at all asking for help. It was saying that
Oh,
they still could handle all of the information. And so just pointing that out to the client made that aha moment of like, oh, yeah, I still am not asking for help. And kind of where is that coming from? Why do I feel so uncomfortable with that? And kind of diving into
uh-huh.
that. It was such a great session, honestly. And just where we went with it was amazing.
Yeah. That's the best feeling too when you see that like switch flip or the light go on and they're like, oh my gosh, and now I can do this differently. And you've just changed the trajectory of kind of how they interact probably at work and at home with friends and family and partners and whoever to be able to ask for something in a way that works, that's effective without it feeling so bad maybe.
Really having that confidence to be like, okay, I can ask for help and I'm okay with asking for help.
Right. Yes, that piece of it, like it's okay and I'm okay to ask for that help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe just before we wrap up, is there one like nugget of wisdom or anything that you would want to say to a new client coming in that is maybe never been to therapy or maybe has been to a little bit of therapy but was kind of like, that wasn't that helpful? What do you say to that person?
I would say that honestly, it's really common. It's very scary. It's very uncomfortable to come in and really start to talk and work onto these deep issues. And if there's a past issue that is coming up, we'll work through it. But it's really kind of going at the client's pace, making them feel comfortable and knowing that I'll be there to support them throughout it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. The client space, especially. I think that can be, yeah, something that when people come into therapy, they don't know that they can kind of decide or speak up if it's not working or not going how they want. And so empowering people to have that voice, I think is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, unless you have any last little tidbits, I think that is great. And we're, like I said, so excited that you're here and um, just keep doing the good work.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here and can't wait to work with whoever may come next.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.